I love What's the Tea.
Thank you.
And now, how did that all come about? Like, when did you decide to do it? And are you recording them all during Drag Race and then just letting them come out?
No, we only did a few during Drag Race. Ru and I started in radio together on WKTU in New York City in 1996, the launch of that amazing radio station.
I know, that was a great time. I had just moved to New York when you guys were on the air. And
Wasn't it the most fun show ever?
I loved it. It was just so good, and there was so much dance music, and that was a great time in New York when the huge clubs were still huge, and the big records were starting to get remixed in big ways, so you guys were right on the pulse of that.
Yeah, it was really a time that's kind of frozen.
Yeah.
Because it'll never be like that again.
No.
Ever, especially in radio. It was the pinnacle of radio, and that's all gone downhill since then. But I stayed in it for 17 years, whereas Ru left. So we did radio together for those years, and then he moved out here, and I stayed on doing morning radio. And then I did it out here in Los Angeles, and then I went back to New York, and then I went to Miami. So I stayed in it for 17 years in morning radio. And held my own, and I was the host. I wasn't the traffic girl or like the wacky, that's so funny.
Right, you were the morning zoo lady along with this other zoo.
Always my show or a co-host. So Ru and I talked about doing stuff together again, radio, and we just couldn't figure it was right. And then I said to him one day, we should think about doing a podcast, and then nothing ever happened. And then one day he came to me and said, I'm ready. And I was like, she has spoken. Let's do it.
The Buddha has let the orchids fall from her mouth, let it be so.
And then she said, this is it, let's do it. And it's kind of morphed into this amazing thing. And it's really a safe place, because Ru's very private. And it's kind of turned into this safe place where Ru and I sit there and we just kind of tell everything about ourselves. Everything. We've talked about everything, and we continue to do so.
I mean, it gets really deep.
It does.
I mean, and I'm not one for new agey spiritual books on tape or whatever, but I listen to this show and I'm like, they're right. I do need to find my own inner strength.
Well, it's
really good.
It's because we're speaking to you the same way I would talk to you if we're out to dinner, about the same trials and tribulations that we all go through. These kids go through on Drag Race. We're just a little bit older and a little bit wiser, and we talk about what we would have done if that were us. And we always say, I could never do what those girls do. I could never do it. Ru says, I could never do it. I could never do it. And we talk about the kind of journey in life and the mistakes that we made, and you know, how you bounce back and what you can do. It just shows you that we're all human.
Yeah, it's great, especially since there's such a big young audience that loves Drag Race. And this could have been a very like morning zoo type of show, because
we didn't want
that's fun, but
there's an element of
there's
that.
a lot of fun. I mean, it's still a delight to listen to. It's not serious, but it has a lot of like, I mean, the topics are like perseverance, depression, getting through tough times, like, and it's great advice. The two of you really have a lot. It Gets Butter was really good with LATRICE ROYALE. I really loved it.
No, it's fun, and we talked to the people who were genuinely interested to. Our producers, or genuinely interested in. Our producer will send us lists, and we're like, who are these people? I know the kids like them on YouTube and Vine and stuff, but no disrespect, but we're not really interested in the story. Why? Because they're 14 and don't have pubic hair yet. Not that makes a person interesting, because obviously the youth has a lot, but the stuff that we're getting into, I don't know if they can tap into that yet.
I mean, it's good stuff to keep, I mean, to hear. Like, if I was a teenager listening to the show, I think there's a lot of ways,
That's
a lot of
what
tools
I mean. You want to learn from the people that you listen to, and I think that kids are going to benefit more than that, listening to that, than listening to somebody who's their peer, who isn't really struggling and not really going through anything. They're just like, oh my God, and like, I did this thing.
Kind of like, oh my God.
Which is cute too, but there's not really much to learn yet. They're still learning. So, by the way, there is not a word.
They're still learning.
They're still learning.
Some of us are still learning on Grandma
I am
Michelle.
from New Jersey, so I constantly have to correct myself and others.
It's okay. That was very eloquent.
Thank you,
Very
Lady
eloquent. For more, hey Qween! Check us out on theStream.tv. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Daily Motion, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And we'll just have a gay old time, right, baby?
Yes, honey.
Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Hey, Qween.